Hello fellow AFOLs and welcome to Long's Bricks. Today we are taking a look at two of these Snap and Switch SpongeBob sets. We have Sandy's Rocket and Pineapple House. So you can see they each come with one figure. We have Sandy over here, and of course the Pineapple House comes with SpongeBob. Kind of bummed there's no Gary, but maybe he'll be an accessory later on down the line. These are done by that same company that did the Ninja Turtle sets I looked at earlier called Well Played. So we have 97 pieces here with the Pineapple House and 95 pieces with Sandy's Rocket. So should be pretty simple builds here. Packaging's pretty simple. You just have a picture of the set and the figure here on the front. SpongeBob hanging out down here in the corner. Not really much going up on the sides. We got Squidward and Sandy on this side. Here's Gary hanging out on that side. And then just a very simple picture of the set over here. Look like they're not really in scale with the figures, but we'll take a look as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the box and get them built, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the two builds fully completed. I guess we'll start with the minifigures. So the Pineapple House, of course, comes with SpongeBob. And it's a decent little figure. You have ball joints here where the arms connect to the body. And then technically you can spin the yellow part of the arm from side to side. The legs can technically move from side to side, but they're very tight. And so I can't move mine all that much. This one will kind of move side to side. This one, not as much. It's very snugly in there. I can kind of move it from side to side. The sponge part of his head is almost made of a softer material. It's not quite spongy, but it seems a little bit softer than the rest. The eyes are a separate piece that plug in. And overall, I think it's decently painted. It looks like it has some connection ports for maybe some other accessories, but none other accessories are included in the set. So that is SpongeBob. And then you have Sandy. She has the giant dome here, which is made of two pieces that clip around her head. And then they give you this little flower sticker to put over top. Unfortunately, because of the seam, it doesn't really affix all that well. So we'll see how that holds up. That might eventually peel off. But the head is nicely done and the body's painted pretty decently. And it has your standard minifigure movement. You can move the hands and the arms and the legs. So it's a decent little figure, but we'll put them off to the side for now. And we'll take a look at the two builds. I think the Pineapple House is probably the more successful of the two. Now again, from the outside, it's not really in scale with the figure because there's no way he could go through that door. Even if it did open, it does not. It's just built that way and has a little sticker on the front, but it's obviously too small for him to fit in, even if it was openable. You have some stickers here for the portholes, which are not the best. They're kind of translucent because they affix over top of translucent pieces, but you can see the orange doesn't quite match the rest of the brick. But overall, I think it's pretty decently built. You have this little piece up here, which works. If we flip around to the inside, I mean, he can kind of stand on the inside, but it's very small. You have a few stickers inside here as well. You can kind of open this up. It makes it a little bit easier to see the stickers. So you have a little bit smaller stickers to fit on the inside of the translucent pieces to kind of complete the look of the portholes. Then you have a life preserver here, and then a captain's wheel. And then you have this piece here, which I assume is like a lure for bait. And then you just kind of push this back, and it will kind of hit a natural stopping point where it hits that black piece underneath, which is nice. Kind of gives it the right shape. So it's a very basic little build, really just kind of something for the background to kind of put the figure in front of. Technically, he can fit inside, but, you know, it doesn't scale the best, but it's not the worst. So, decent little build there. Unfortunately, Sandy's ship doesn't hold together all that well the way that it's built. You have this piece up top, and I do like that it's a circular piece for the aesthetic, but these pieces on the front really move around a lot because they're just kind of pegged on loosely to this piece here, and then they just kind of fit underneath there. It doesn't really peg on nicely. I kind of wish that this was a square piece to really lock that all in. And the way this is built, this whole back section here, as you can see, is kind of built separately, and then they kind of are put together, and then they're really only held together underneath by this propeller piece. So, I mean, it's not going to like fall apart if I just move it around, but it's not built as nicely as I would like. It doesn't hold together as well as it should. The stickers for the portholes here. Then you have a sticker here for the doorway. Now, I'm not a huge fan of stickers that go across multiple pieces. The Pineapple House doesn't have as many. Like, there's one down here, or I should say one on both sides for the door, and then this one here. But most of the rest are just on single pieces, so if you ever had to take it apart, it wouldn't be too difficult to separate the pieces and keep the stickers intact, but you'd have to kind of keep the door pieces together and then these two pieces together for this sticker. Over here, it's a lot messier, I guess I'll say. You have this piece here that goes across a bunch of pieces for the door. Then over here on the back, you have kind of the inside of the spaceship. And there's one here, like a screen on this piece, on this slope piece, which isn't too bad. And then you have this little screen here, which is just on one tile piece. That's not too bad. But then you have this piece here that goes across several of these pieces on the inside. And the directions don't show where to place the stickers. So let me show these off real quick. They're decent directions for the build. Like, they show you what pieces are needed for each step. And they, you know, connect and show how they connect fairly well. They even designate transparent pieces. But they don't mention anywhere where the stickers go, which I feel like is definitely an oversight, and I don't really know why that is. So you kind of just have to go off of the box. So you bring the box in, and then you have to kind of use this tiny picture just to see where the stickers should go, or the front of the box here. So that's definitely an oversight. And I was realizing as I was putting this one on that it's probably supposed to be moved over more to the side because the screen is going to cover part of it. It's even kind of difficult to get light in here just because of the way it is, but she can definitely stand inside here. And I feel like she scales decently well. Like, if you would think of this as a rocket for her to ride in. I swear this can connect. I don't really know why. The legs are giving me difficulty. But there we go. So she can kind of stand around in there pretty well. And if you think about it, it's just like a one-manned ship. It's not really that problematic in terms of the size, the scale. But she really connects on there very solidly. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It's one, I should say, in one way of thinking about it, it's nice that they connect solidly when they do connect. But other things, like I tried to pull this piece out earlier and the whole section came off. Rather than just these two white bricks coming off, the whole back section popped off, which is kind of interesting. So some parts are really nicely connected and other parts are not as connected with this. And you can kind of see all these seams, and I've tried to really push this together more and shore it up. But unfortunately, this one just, I mean, like I said, it's not going to fall apart, but I just feel like it's not as nicely built. The Pineapple House definitely feels like it has more structural integrity to it. But again, they're $5 little builds from Five Below. I don't really think they're that bad for that price. It's a pretty, I should say the pieces are pretty solid. The connections, for the most part, are pretty solid. The bricks themselves feel, you know, pretty solid, which is good. Yeah, overall, I think for $5 a piece, they're not too bad. I think the Ninja Turtle ones were a little bit more successful. You can already see that the sticker is coming off, so I definitely don't think that this is going to stay on forever. And it's because it's trying to attach to like a curved surface, and that's just not the best. But yeah, for $5 a piece, I mean, you're definitely getting what you pay for. But I think it's decent. I think the value's decently there. You get one figure and a decent little build for $5. I don't think that's too bad. And if you just like SpongeBob, you know, this is definitely something that could be fun to, you know, just kind of put on a shelf or by your desk or something like that. Just kind of a fun little display piece. If I had to recommend one over the other, I definitely think SpongeBob with the Pineapple House is more successful. Sandy with the rocket is okay, but I think this is definitely the better set out of the two. Just a little bit more iconic. I think it holds together. The build was a little bit was a little bit more successful, and the SpongeBob figure is decent. I mean, honestly, the Sandy figure is probably the best part of that build. I just think there's so many seams here and holes and things. It's just not as aesthetically pleasing as the Pineapple House. I feel like that is definitely a more cohesive build, and this is just some sloppy build techniques and just doesn't hold together as well as I'd like. But again, for $5, I mean, you could get it for $5 just for the figure and not really worry about that all that much. So, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely think this one is the more successful out of the two. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.